Football rules you didn't know existed. I bet you didn't know that the entire professional football community all sat down together and came up with an insane 2.2 billion rule. And that was to put football players in bras? Number 1. Footballers wear bras. See, sports science has become a crucial aspect of football in recent years, and players are often wearing a piece of technology under their jerseys. It looks like a bra, but it's actually a top-tier GPS tracking device designed to help players and their clubs in their physical development, ensuring they perform at the high-intense levels we all enjoy. The device records and provides statistical data about the player's movements, which is then fed through a laptop. A lot of football clubs use these GPS tracking devices because they hope the managerial staff scrutinize all physical aspects by analyzing how the level of training affects each player. From there, they can alter a training program to suit their particular needs by optimizing a player's physical performance and minimizing the risk of injury. So, the next time you watch your favorite starting 11, just remember that underneath those football jerseys, all those dudes are literally wearing sports bras. And speaking of starting 11s, I bet you didn't know the football clubs can have a starting 7. Number 2. 7 players. See, as per the FIFA handbook, filled with thousands and thousands of guidelines, it states, a match is played by 2 teams, each with a maximum of 11 players. One must be the goalkeeper. A match may not start or continue if either team has fewer than 7 players. 7 against 11? Sheesh! And I thought we were speaking about the convenience store. But hey, rules are rules. Just like football rules when it comes to corner flags. See, these flags are more than just fancy markers. They are deeply essential to the field of play. The corner area is defined by a quarter circle with a radius of 1 meter. And when it comes to the flag post itself, football rules state that it has to be blah 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 blah. Enough of the boring stuff. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of football's crazy rules. And who better to kick things off than Jadon Sancho? See at rule number 3. Football clubs also have their own strict rules. And Jadon Sancho was brutally punished after breaking one of football's most sacred rules, respect for the manager. And it all began when Erik ten Hag said this: on his performance in training, we didn't select him. You have to reach a level every day at Manchester United. It's no surprise Sancho wasn't gonna sit back and let a bald dude speak smack about him. So, he posted this: please don't believe everything you read. I will not allow people saying things that is completely untrue. I believe there are other reasons for this matter that I won't get into. I've been a scapegoat for a long time, which isn't fair. I don't think this was the best response. The fact of the matter is, it only made things worse. I know most of us here are familiar with Lion King. Why am I mentioning the Lion King? See, if we all look back at the scene where Scar became king, he banished Simba. The same way Manchester United banished Jadon Sancho. I'm talking banned from training with the first team, banned from using first team facilities, banned from the WhatsApp group. Hell, Sancho was also banned from the dining room. I bet this next player was starving after a football club literally took away his wages. If there's anything we've learned from Kepa Arrizabalagas, it's got to be rule number 4. Number 4. Players can refuse to come off. See, as per the FIFA handbook and according to Law 3, it states, if a player who is about to be replaced refuses to leave the field of play, play continues. So, technically, that means that Kepa did not break any rules when he refused to come off during a League Cup final against Manchester City. The manager thought I was injured. Everything went faster and happened as it happened. I said sorry to everyone, and Sarri explained to me how he felt after this. I am not proud about what happened. I lived in a storm for a week. Dude got abused for a week straight? And all that for wanting to help the team by refusing to come off? Sheesh. On top of that, they fined them $240,000. But hey, at least Bayern Munich went easy on Kingsley Coman, cause I bet you didn't know that. Number 5. Football players drive club-sponsored cars. See, Bayern Munich signed a deal with Audi for 50 million euros a season, which means that every player is contractually obligated to drive an Audi, whether that's for business meetings such as trading, football matches, or even sponsorship events. You must drive an Audi. Pretty straightforward rule if you ask me, until one man decided, fuck that. If you don't know who this is, then get to know Kingsley Coman. This dude has won everything in football. No, seriously. From countless league titles to the Champions League and the World Cup. A serial winner like this, it's no wonder Bayern made him one of the richest footballers in Germany, earning a whopping 17 million euros. With all that moolah in his bank account, I'm not surprised Kingsley Coman decided to pull up with this. A brand new fresh white McLaren 570S Spider. The first time it happened, nobody said anything, but since Bayern Munich is in an 8.3% partnership with Audi, earning more than $50 million a season, they had to do something when Coman pulled up with another personal vehicle. This time, dude pulled in Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG, so they had to put their foot down and fine them $54,000. $54,000 is nothing compared to $4,806 billion, which is only the market share of one of the biggest footballing divisions, the Australian Football League. And wait till you hear about the insane rules at the AFL. Number 6. AFL rules. See, the Australian Football League stands as one of the world's most popular and attended domestic sports league. Instead of football, these dudes run around holding something that looks like a mixture of a rugby ball and an oval-shaped thingy. On top of that, they also play on a field that is shaped like an oval. League seasons are made up of 18 teams across the leagues. Each team has the usual starting lineup of defenders, midfielders, and forwards. The rules state, to pass the ball, a player cannot throw the ball and must use their fist to punch the ball out of their possession to a teammate. Every 15 meters, the ball must be bounced by a player in possession, and failure to do so results in a penalty. When it comes to the defense point of view, the AFL allows the following 4 ways: spoil, tackle, bump, and smother. To score a goal, players need to aim for the middle post with gigantic poles. A goal through this space is worth 6 points. However, a goal on either side of the poles is known as behind, worth 1 point. Wow, that's a lot to take in and can be quite confusing. But speaking of confusion, no football rule can ever be as confusing as the number 7, golden goal, silver goal, and the away goal. See, back in the Stone Ages, football used to have the golden and silver goals. The golden goal was a rule that was used after the full-time whistle. During extra time, whichever team scored the next goal won the game. And this was first seen in the 1996 European Championship final when Germany beat the Czech Republic. Similarly, the silver goal was also a rule used by FIFA to settle an extra time affair. The only difference is that if an opposing team scored during the first half of extra time, they would automatically win if the other team failed to score, and there would be no halftime. Like, at all. So yeah, all in all, these were 2 of football's most confusing rules. Not to mention they seemed totally unfair. Kinda like the away goal rule. What is the away goals rule, you ask? The away goals rules was used during 2-legged football fixtures, during knockout games, especially in Europe's top-tier competition, the UEFA Champions League, where you had Team 1 at home up against a visiting side Team 2. If both the sides are level after 90 minutes, then Team 2 wins on away goals since they counted double. Initially, the away goals rule was brought in for pure entertainment, since home and away matches were invented to give football fans action for 90 minutes. The idea behind the rule was to encourage teams to attack away from home. But once teams started finding loopholes around the rule, it made the games less interesting, When some teams played at home, they would often decide to sit back and defend the entire time. And of course, nobody wants to pay to watch garbage football like that, so in the end, the UEFA president had no choice but to scrap it away permanently. See what I did there? But no, seriously, all jokes aside, as we come down to rule number 8, no accessories allowed on the field, it's nothing but a serious crime against fashion. Just ask my boy Jules Koundé. If you know Jules Koundé, then you know how much of a hype beast this dude is. I mean, look at these fits. Dude's always rocking designer. From Gucci to Fendi, Dior, Amiri, Prada, you name it. This dude's rocking all of them. And when it comes to his jewelry collection, Jules is not afraid to flex on all the brokies like you and me. And unlike us normal people, this dude literally rocked a gold chain during a World Cup match. When the referee saw him, he ordered him to take it off immediately. That's because Koundé was breaching a major football rule. See, the Football Association handbook states, a player must not use equipment or wear anything that is dangerous. All items of jewelry, necklaces, rings, bracelets, earrings are forbidden and must be removed. At least Jules Koundé didn't do what Raul Jimenez did, because not only did this dude breach rule number 10 on our list, he caused an international scandal. See, back in 2018, Raul Jimenez was struggling to put up good performances for his team Benfica. So, when they loaned him to Wolverhampton Wanderers, he was a completely different player, scoring crazy goals and even becoming one of the most important players, taking the team to a record 7th place finish. Just before the World Cup began, it wasn't a surprise to see our boy get a call-up to represent Mexico. Finally, all his hard work paid off. But he just had to go and fuck it up by doing something totally unexpected. See, during a regular season, football players need to be in the best shape possible. And since the end of the season was in May, Raul only had just a few weeks to prepare for the start of the 2018 World Cup. And since he was an important player for Mexico, they had to take extra caution and made sure he wasn't overexerting himself, let alone succumb to any injuries. They made sure he was training hard and following rules. To conserve his fitness levels and ensure he was at peak performance, he was not allowed to, pump. The reason is that managers do not recommend for their players to do that kind of stuff, especially with a tournament as big as the World Cup on the horizon. This was important because Mexico really needed their best player in the best shape possible, and to prepare for the tournament, they played one last fixture before heading off, beating Scotland courtesy of Raul Jimenez's teammate Giovanni Dos Santos, scoring the only goal in the game. With the result this impressive, you would think our boy Jimenez would just rest and recover before heading off to Russia. But he did the exact opposite of that. He did the unthinkable. See, since Giovanni Dos Santos' goal sealed a big win for Mexico, there was only one thing on Raul Jimenez's mind, and that was to show his boy a good time. As a token of his appreciation. Exactly one day before the World Cup began, dude hit up an exclusive Mexican compound to host the party of his life. But that's not all. On top of that, fill the section with 30 escorts. Yeah, 30. Safe to say a lot happened that night, but hey, at least they won their opening match, beating the previous champions Germany. If you like this video, go ahead and show some love by hitting the subscribe button. And the like button too, don't forget that. Speaking of not forgetting things, do you remember the time Roy Keane literally smashed a player's leg into pieces? Neither do I. What do you say we watch this video down below? Just me and you. Well, what are we waiting for? Click it, bro. Click it!